Dude, before we go, I mean, I've got loads of tabs open, but I really want to talk about this last minute $1,200 for American citizens that was supposed to go out, the stimulus thing. It was a $1 trillion deal, wasn't it? That was it was partisan. Everyone crossed the aisles. There was apparently a 1.8 trillion package. Apparently there was five different groups working on it. Um, and they all came to consensus, and then when it came down to the actual vote, yeah, it failed,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Did you see
And
part
one
of
of
the
the
thing they
reasons
ripped it apart though?
well,
They
one of the
porked
reasons
the
is because
shit out of it.
Republicans are in actual isolation, so there weren't enough Republicans to vote for it, which was the main reason. There was no allowance made for them to vote, so
Mm.
that was where the number difference came from. But go on, sorry.
Yeah, one of the big problems is Mitch McConnell made sure 500 billion was being earmarked for the largest corporations who could
Yeah,
most successfully ride this out. But there was nothing in there about not using it to buy back shares and things like that, which has been a massive
yeah, there
problem.
was,
Not enough
there
at the
was.
time, because that's what he got pulled on.
You no, someone's lied to you there, man. That was in there. That was definitely 100%
Right,
in
because
there.
what I saw today was Mitch McConnell saying you've
Yeah.
not been partisan. So I went and looked, and there was a couple of people, probably Democrats, saying no, the buyback option is not solid enough or some shit like that. Now, my problem is you were jumping in, getting ready to give it the old, you're being silly, Hayden,
Mm.
supporting that. I don't think they should have voted it down because I don't think it fucking matters.
No,
I
it
think
doesn't. But
this is a
no,
time
that's what I
for,
was going to say.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you were waiting for me to disagree. This is a time for blunderbuss legislation.
Mm.
It doesn't matter where the shit hits as long as it hits. That's
Yeah,
what's
yeah, yeah.
needed, and it's
I will agree.
disgraceful what's going on.
I was going through the wording of it, and no, the buybacks were specifically banned for the entirety of the loan. So however long they had the loan for, they weren't allowed to raise executive salaries. They weren't allowed to give bonuses. They had to keep the existing payroll as it was on March 13th. So they couldn't fire anyone. That was part of the agreement of getting the loan. They couldn't do the stock buybacks, and the Democrats are playing politics. I'm not saying there weren't some, I'm not a fucking legal accountant or anything like that. I'm sure there would have been some snide things that could have happened here or there.
No, of
But you're
course there
completely
were,
right.
100% there were. But
The,
the fact is, it shouldn't
um,
fucking matter.
no, it shouldn't fucking matter because
Fix it later.
yeah, you're gonna help more people. Like no idea, no policy is perfect
No.
ever. Do you know what I mean? Like but right now there's people who they've been locked down. Several states, several cities are just locking down fully, and it was just literally about giving people $1,200. There
Yeah.
you go, just to fucking get by.
Yeah.
And it's insanity that they've blocked it
It's
on purely
madness.
political grounds.
This
And
is
then the
absolute
first thing they
madness.
did, they announced, well, we want to make sure there's no stock buybacks, which is what got reported, but that was already in there. The Democrats announced it like there was a thing. This is because the way they did it, the slimy cunts, and I can't believe they're playing politics right now. They announced their bill, which is over 1,000 pages long, and they said this bill includes stock buyback. A stock
Yeah.
buyback ban. Not saying like it's like that weasel words thing by saying this bill includes it makes it sound like the old one didn't, but that's
Mm.
bullshit. It fucking did.
Well,
I've
from what I
read
read,
it with my own eyes.
it was one portion that was allocated to 500 billion of it.
Yeah,
That was
500 billion. Yeah,
that was
yeah.
the key issue out of the whole 1.8 trillion package. But
Yeah.
even when I read it, and I read they said, there's some aspect of it. It's not like, it's not like it gives it the green light. There was something in there. But even then I was sat there thinking, so what? Deal with that later.
Yeah, it
Come
doesn't
back to it.
matter.
You're
It
the
doesn't
government.
matter.
You can change your mind and go, you've acted inappropriately and fix it then when this shit's done. But it's like, we chatted and you pointed out rightly, and I've said a few times since, the only thing we're lucky with is that we're on the right side of an election.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
That's
were
all.
saying this on the phone, weren't we? Like
And we're still
we've
getting,
just
that's
had an
it.
election.
Yeah.
Say again.
Well, we're still getting the same bullshit here with them tearing each other to pieces. But the fact is, we've had our election. The Tories have got a large majority. There's limited cooperation. It's better than it would have expected. But if we were on the other
the
side of an
yeah,
election,
yeah.
no.
That's it. And at the moment, the Democrats, they're trying to position themselves, and ultimately they know that the majority of media outlets are going to write up favorable stories about them on this, and and the Democrats are playing their media advantage,
It's just this is not
and
the
now is
time for it.
not the time. It's
No,
not
have
the
you
time.
seen the acceleration of the? I've just read out the infections and deaths in the US. They're
Yeah,
fucking around with millions now. We could be looking
yeah.
at thousands. Well, we are looking at thousands. They could be looking at fucking millions.
Yeah, definitely. They could be looking at that and they need to do something about it. And one way to do something about it is to tell people, stay at home. Here's $1,200 to get you through. That's how
Yeah.
you fucking do it. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised we haven't announced something similar here. Although, we're working towards the same goal. We've guaranteed wages for people who are working via the loans and all that shit. It's actually not too far off what we've done here. It's just
The
going at
problem
it from
here
a
is that
different angle.
they need. I still think they need to come in and kill council tax for a month or three
Yeah.
months. Um, Credit card loans because they're going to bury people. Credit
Mm,
cards, loan
mm,
payments because we've already sorted the mortgages and guest rental to a degree. They need to stop those outgoings because that
yeah.
will make people more willing to be at home and comfortable. And just it's 3 months of utter socialism. That's
Yeah.
that's not a sustainable position to be in, but it's the only answer that will work right now.
Mm, mm.
Otherwise,
No, I agree
the
with you. I
hospitals
agree
get
with you.
the hospitals get overrun, and hundreds of thousands of people drop fucking dead of something that's avoidable before we can get to having the effective treatments from those other drugs. Before we can get a vaccine.
And,
Um,
what annoys me as well is, everyone's working at it, everyone's doing it. In America right now, the progressives, Bernie and all that, were with Trump. They
yeah,
were all standing together, and just Friday they were all standing together, and just fucking Pelosi, I just decided, no, no, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna play politics, and I think she's just, I think 2020 is going to be one of these mind-blowing, like, Trump wins nearly every state kind of elections. Like, I don't think people are gonna forgive him this.
depends.
They're not gonna give a fuck. The lie about the 500 billion will only have so many legs once people
No,
can't feed
what
themselves.
the thing is though, if 2 or 3 million die of this,
Mm.
I don't think any of that shit matters. Whoever's in charge then,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
that party is fucked. Fucked. That's it. Just fucked. Doesn't matter
Well,
what
I
the Democrats blocked it. Don't matter. You were in the seat. This should have been done. But the fact is, they're all failing you, America. I mean, don't get me wrong.
mm,
Before anyone gets pissy, I'm not saying there was any kind of paragon of virtue or effectiveness, but what's happening in America is unconscionable. Um, they're playing with so many fucking lives, and the American health system really isn't in a good place to deal with this sort of thing at all. At all. Um, I just think it looks bad. I genuinely do,
are
and
you
I'm
still
genuinely
parroting that
concerned.
third world thing
No, I've not
as
said third
well?
world, but
Who
it
said
is a
that?
fact. That was Norway. That was the
It
government of
was it was
fucking Norway.
It was a Facebook post from a Norwegian school. It wasn't
Third world
Norway.
country. But anyway, here's the thing.
They didn't say that.
All
I
right,
went and looked it up. They
third
didn't
world
say that. Stop
healthcare
spreading
system. But
that
here's the
lie.
thing, Graham.
No,
It
that's not
got
what
me
they said.
looking. It got me looking. And you, in your most fervent masturbatory fantasies about the American healthcare system, whilst if you've got a known disease or ailment or experimental condition, top of the class, top of the fucking class.
Yeah,
However,
same here. Same in UK.
ICU bed. No, I said America, top of the class for that sort of thing. That's what you usually say, and I agree with you. For certain things,
Right.
it's incredible. ICU beds, very similar situation to us. However, throughout the Midwest, the places that aren't usually given the coverage of the exemplary hospitals, there is a massive financial problem with those hospitals. That's what I went to look at. Why would it be this dangerous and this bad? they're going to fall
Mm.
over. They're going to
Yeah, yeah,
fall
yeah, yeah.
over. So my whole point about third world thing, that just made me chuckle. But when I went and looked at it, their ability to cope with pandemic because of the precarious situation with the insurance companies and the way the hospitals are run and everything else, if the pandemic is not managed, you might as
Mm.
well be in a third world fucking country. There's no fallback. There
Yeah.
just isn't. There's nothing.
Well,
And
well,
that's a genuine concern that people take as America bashing. But you know as well as I do, I don't want to see one American person fucking get ill and die.
no, 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 no.
Not one.
And there's no one on this planet more than an American that if you tell them they can't go outside, that's exactly what they want to do. Fuck you, man. I'll do what I
So
want. This is my life.
that's the thing
Um,
Americans need to take away from this, that you do have this issue. Whether you like it or not, it's there. It's easy enough to
yeah.
research. If
Look,
this
looking at their
pandemic isn't managed,
beaches.
you guys are fucked.
Yeah, looking at their beaches and stuff though, man, they've got some badass martial law coming down the road because it doesn't matter what your setup is for hospitals and all that. It's like once you reach capacity, it's just game over then. You know, that's when everyone starts dying, and it's not a question of like 80-year-olds dying. It's it's people our ages, you know, who get seriously ill. Well, if you only talk about the death rate with coronavirus, that's the issue because it's the death rate is what it is because people get on ventilators. You know, do you know what I mean? As the ages get higher, the percentage of people who need hospital treatment gets higher.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Once you take that hospital treatment out, then the death rate just goes up there like that. And Italy has been getting a lot of help from everyone, and even with people's help, they're fucked. As
Oh,
someone said, it's like 1 in 10.
they passed
Um,
critical mass a long time ago.
yeah,
A long time
and
ago.
and and I'm sure. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of America's preparation, but I know that that's what we're preparing for right now. Only the supply chain in the NHS is so fucked.
Yeah.
Like each individual ward orders for itself, and that's
Well,
not
I
how
think
it should be with socialized
you
stuff.
know the PPE issues.
Mm.
Everyone's solely blaming the government. Why didn't the people that do the procurement for the NHS get some fucking PPE stuff in?
Because nobody does procurement for the NHS. That's the problem.
Yeah, there's no
That's
central
the issue.
procurement.
There's no central procurement. It doesn't exist. I've been looking into it. Apart from the fact that, like, well, my brother does procurement, so he knows about this shit, and he went to the NHS, and the job that they call procurement pays very, very little, and you don't actually do it. There's no centralized. Like, really, you should have an Amazon style warehouse on the edge of
Yeah.
Manchester that serves all the hospitals, and you know, you should have of 50 different items, you should have orders coming in so that every morning you're making, you know, unit one, you know, A is like 20 units, B
Yeah.
is 30 units, C is 1,000 units, and that one truck should drop off to that one hospital. And that's what was sold in terms of universal healthcare, you know, the NHS. It's supposed to be buying power in bulk, but
Yeah.
that's not how it works right now. Individual wards buy their own things and order their own things separately. Even Manchester hospitals aren't linked up. The whole thing is fucked. It makes no they run like they're running like private businesses, all separately within
See,
the
that's been
same
the problem
hospital.
that we've said that for years. That the main problem with the NHS is the management. Because
Yeah.
do you
Yeah, yeah,
notice
yeah.
this only happened though? The irony is when they took management away from doctors and matrons and handed it to actual managers.
Yeah.
That's when the problems really started because doctors are just like, yo, what do we need, matron? And the hospital administrator would gather all the figures and order all the shit they needed. And that was the way it
The
worked.
the whole thing's fucked, man. It needs massive reform.
Oh, yeah.
Massive, massive reform. Because